Welcome back to Unemployment News, the weekly place where we hold the line against anyone who foolishly believes that something is about to happen. No, the US bombing the Middle East is not something happening. Nothing ever happens once the first nuke is dropped. Join the Discord, and if you're watching this on the main channel, just like last time, the full video is on the second channel. That's how it's going to be moving forward. And apologies if you hear a whir in the background because I have the fan on. It is 99 degrees today in Boston. Fucking hell. Anyways, I have a question for you. Do you like CP? Well, boy, do I have a game for you. Roblox has gained hella infamy for doing nothing to stop the rampant abuse of minors on its platform. All of this gooner stuff, the big tits, the furry avatars, hell, even the pride stuff shouldn't even be allowed on the platform and experiences under 18. I would be fine with, the pride cosmetics, furry shit, and gooner shit existing if it weren't for the fact that kids could still see it, and even if they couldn't, making an adult account is completely free, no ID or verification required. And even if it was, what's to stop you from grabbing your parents' ID? So plain and simple, both I and the majority of people think that this stuff should not exist on the platform. Roblox tried feebly to address this content, but instead of doing what Amazon does and hiring a building full of Indians to moderate it, they use AI. Extremely lenient AI that will ban you for saying poochie because it thinks you're trying to say pussy, but lets the anime titties flow right through. Individuals like Ruben Sim have had some success with their grassroots road cleaner bots because it puts the moderation in the hands of people who genuinely care about it. People have expressed concerns about him using it to ban people he doesn't like furries, but the bot is Discord based and Discord is owned by furries, so no worries there. I haven't even gotten to the meat of the story, which is Roblox's annual egg hunt, the Hatch. Every year they pick a selection of games that they hide eggs in, which you have to play to find the eggs. They also have a Discord where these developers sort of, meet up. Roblox is guilty of adding developers to the Hatch Discord like Code Attribute, creator of Romy, basically Roblox Omegle, where the Row Catchers group, To Catch a Predator Roblox edition, have found multiple people trying to partake of underage individuals. Next individual is the Officii Teddy, creator of several condo games. Condo games are games where people go to roleplay sex in a kid's game, among other things. These two people and many others being in the have caused the creators of popular Roblox games like Piggy, 3008, Doors, and a Job Application Simulator. How is that allowed? But yeah, these developers and many more are just opting out of the biggest Roblox event of the year. This is basically the equivalent of a company winning a nomination at the Game Awards and saying, no thank you. Turning down free publicity out of principle should let you know how screwed this version of the Hatch has been. Chad versus the Gay Nazis, which, yes, is a real game, is about a strong, sweaty, muscular man named Chad Pierce in 2089 saving his daughter from being groomed by the gays. I've seen games with anti-woke messages before, but this has been the most on-the-nose one I've ever seen. The only thing I would change is making the MC's name Chad Thundercock. This game is made by Andypantsgaming, who is one of the more controversial gaming channels on YouTube. He's mostly known for his anti-woke, anti-DEI stuff, which I admittedly haven't watched. I do agree on the basic principles that DEI is bad. Injecting politics from either side where they don't belong is bad, but this game is just going out of its way to be antagonistic. The gameplay looks boring as shit, and the world is just like, okay, we get it. In 2077, it'll be a crime to be a straight white male type shit. This is genuinely the conservative equivalent of the progressives saying, oh, the tangerine tyrant is gonna lock all the minorities in concentration camps and only let the straight white men into power. No, dude. Mr. Trump is not going to shed his skin and reveal that he's actually Robo-Hitler, that it's not going to be a crime to be straight in 2077, where they force you to become trans or whatever. These two groups of people are insufferable. And on top of that, it's time for us to talk about AI CP. And I'm not talking about the CP of the CD Projekt Red variety. No. See, in this game, Andypantsgaming seems to have thought it was a great idea to own the libs by making AI-generated CP of his own daughter. When questioned on why the fuck he thought that was a grand idea, he basically said, oh, but the trans people are literally grooming the children with the puberty blockers and stuff. I'm just doing it to own you guys. Why did I put on a Brooklyn accent? This is whataboutism at its finest. The fact that puberty blockers are being given to children, while yeah, that's a bad thing, should not be happening, has nothing to do with you making a prompt of a real kid for an AI to sexualize it. You could have at least hired an artist to draw some lolly shit of a non-existent person. That would still be morally dubious, but nah, let's take a real kid and generate an image of him. That's fucking awesome. Well done, you really showed the woke left with this one.
This is a crime. Under federal law, to own a sexual AI-generated image of a child that's indistinguishable from a real kid or clearly meant to represent a real kid is fucking illegal. Ban this nigga.
I have a hot take that's probably gonna get my family ripped apart. Sonic Racing has been better than Mario Kart for a long while. Yup, I'm one of those. Yup. Keep booing me, I'm almost finished. First, Sonic actually has style. He doesn't need this car, he just chooses to drive it as a handicap. Second, he has more style. This rinky-dink wireframe-ass cart probably can't even handle 60 miles per hour. That's why the game didn't ship with 200cc. In this game, everyone gets muscle cars that actually look like they could maybe beat a snail in a race, unless that snail was turbo. Speaking of licensed characters, y'all notice how Nintendo only put Isabelle, Link, and the Squid Kids into Mario Kart because the game didn't sell enough copies on the Wii U? I think the Wii U has Link, but that was a paid DLC. And rather than seeing that and maybe beginning to work on a Super Smash Kart or something like that, let's double back and make open world Mario Kart. No, Nintendo, stop it. It's not fun when Forza does it. It's not fun when you do it. And before anyone says, they just released the game, Nintendo themselves said that they are focusing on the Mushroom Kingdom. AKA, if you wanted Octolings, Ganon, Zelda, or Tom Nook in a Mario Kart game, might I introduce you to this bridge that's just high enough to kill you on impact with the ground. But yeah, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is going the opposite direction of Sonic Team Racing. Instead of only doing Sonic characters, they're adding a bunch of third-party ones this time. If you weren't already convinced that this game is going to be better, remember that we have Miku over here. Spongebob and Patrick are also being added along with the Ninja Turtles. The only thing I hope they don't do is add real people to the game like they did with All Stars Transformed. I don't know who this woman is, but her being next to a bunch of cartoon characters is uncanny. At least make her a cartoon too, don't just throw her in. Crossing my fingers for the Angry Birds to be added. Sega owns that too and it will be great. Please do not use the movie designs though, they fucking suck. Y'all remember Angry Birds Go? Like, just put that in the game. That would be fucking awesome. Our final story today is about DC. A few years back, when working on Justice League, Zack Snyder was unable to finish the movie, and Josh Whedon took up directorial duties. When the movie came out, it felt incredibly rushed and half-baked, which made sense. A lot of Snyder fans weren't happy with the product, so they founded a subreddit called the Snyder Cut to petition DC to let Jack finish what he started. They allowed it, and the result was Zack Snyder's Justice League, a 4-hour-long movie that's streaming on HBO Max, and sets up Darkseid as the next big bad of the series. I watched the whole thing yesterday, actually. The only thing I would change is swapping out Ezra Miller for Grant Gustin, because why does this guy look like he spent 15 years mewing specifically for this role? Is this plastic surgery? Why does he run like this?
Actually, it's more realistic because, when you're moving that fast, the air around you will feel more solid, because it's moving slowly in comparison to...
Shut up, nigga. It looks goofy as hell. Anyways, a subreddit that was once used to coordinate a great thing is now being used for the opposite of that. Gunn Superman is set to release in a few weeks, and the Snyder Bros are not having it. One of the many criticisms I've seen about this movie is that it's not comic accurate because Superman is significantly weaker than he is in the Snyderverse, but that was done on purpose from what I can tell. You can't really relate to Snyder's Superman because he's an order of magnitude more powerful than most foes he comes up against. Even in Snyder's Justice League, the whole plot, spoiler warning, hinges on whether they can bring him back from the dead. Once he's back, it's over. They've won. It's a wraps. Even the CW Supergirl is weaker than she is in the comics. She constantly gets kicked around, and that's because the show recognizes that not everyone wants to watch a 45-minute long power fantasy. They did her dirty with the CGI of the show though. That's why Superman is quote-unquote weak in this movie. If he was Snyder's Superman, he'd just level the city while killing the bad guys and then go home like nothing happened. Another criticism I've heard is him being similar to Star-Lord in the way he's written, and I disagree, although we won't know for sure until the movie's actually out. Anyways, instead of letting someone else play with Superman for 5 minutes, the Snyder Cut subreddit is hell-bent on sabotaging this movie. And you know what? I usually wouldn't do this, but I think I'll actually watch this one in theaters, just to spite these people. I hate corporations, but I hate Redditors more. Take my money, DC. But the most overarching criticism I've seen regarding this movie has got to be the DC is Marvel now argument. James Gunn did direct Guardians of the Galaxy, it's actually my mom's favorite movie, and the Thunderbolts, I think, but I think that people are forgetting that those were some of the good Marvel movies. Like, if the director of Ironheart was over here making Superman, I'd be in boycott mode too. But this guy knows what he's doing, and if he doesn't, well, I guess the Snyder fans were right. The Snyder Bros are going over the line here, though. Here's an image I found of a Reddit post that tells Snyder fans how to do the most damage to the launch of the movie. Methods include reserving ticket sales but not actually buying them for as long as possible. Bold of you to assume that the real viewers wouldn't have already bought them all up, but okay. Review bombing the movie on release. If this worked, Disney would be in the fucking ground right now. Review bombing movies doesn't actually mean anything when half the people watching are children or people who can't read. Number 3, spreading anti-gun gun propaganda. We're over here trying to start World War III, and you're over here trying to convince people that your version of Superman is better than the other one. Just shut up. Honestly, stories like the Snyder Cut and Sonic, examples of fans grouping together and saying, no, we will not accept slop, are kind of inspiring. It's sad to see that some of the former group are deciding to be elitists. Anyways, I will be starting the Transformers Bayverse Cut subreddit, where we will be petitioning Paramount to let Michael Bay make one more movie, just one, like they left The Last Night on a cliffhanger. Make one last movie, bring Shia LaBeouf back, drag him back in, put a "He Will Not Divide Us" flag on Bumblebee or something. Also bring back Megan Fox, make her an agent for G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe crossover Bayverse finale. Am I cooking? That show will be awesome. Anyways, that's all we've got time for. I've been your host. Have a great day, and a good night.
I was just a kid in the suburbs doing alright. Then I became a young nigga overnight. When I catch low it's gonna be on site. 4.5s and ARDs. Up in the trenches with my new family. And the gang that's built on